Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. We continue with our discussion yesterday on total past learning history and how it affects our life. The sum total of our total past learning history in our post-Islamic psychology model will then determine our goodness or badness in this world and the hereafter. And we have mentioned about the primordial realm of our existence, where we have our roh, our qalb and our akal, that is S-E-M, and our existence in this world where we have the physical form P, so S-E-M-P. We live in this world with these four nafs that is part of us all the time, impinging into ourselves, that's SEMP, our total past learning history. I will go into very much detail in our book, Post-Islamic Psychology. You open on the Post-Islamic Psychology model. This is the first model in the world trying to integrate Islamic philosophy and Islamic spirituality with modern psychology. So how does this mechanism work? I'm just going to give you an overview today, inshallah, so that you can understand. So as we exist in this world, we have these four realms or four domains. When we die, the imprint of our realm of existence in this world will then determine our sum total of our existence in the world beyond death. So how are we going to understand this basically? Today I'm going to discuss with you how total past learning history, the sum total of our life, is affected. So in our model, we know that our perception is being developed by the inputs from the physical realm. That means we live in this world, we are impacted by the physical existence of this world, whether insofar as our nutrition, insofar as our living condition, insofar as our education, and so many of the physical amenities, whether we live in a slum, whether we live in a first world country or third world country, all that affects our perception of life. Alright? The second input is the social perception or social input that we get from the social surrounding, our society as well as ourselves. So we have the intra and interpersonal input from the social realm. That means if our friends are gangsters and drug addicts, we end up being gangsters and drug addicts and things like that. So that detail we will go into how social conditioning affects us and how we can overcome it. And finally, the last is we have our inner speech, these automatic thoughts that Allah has given us, how we can mold this inner speech so that we can create a more positive perception. So from perception, we have the total past learning history, and from the total past learning history, we'll then have action. So all the action is here, insofar as daily what we do. Alright? So at the individual level, from our perception, first, what will affect us is our feelings. Alright? Then, from these feelings, it's cascade down to our thoughts, both the conscious and subconscious thoughts. And then, after the thoughts, then we will take an action at every moment of our life. And that action, if repeated over and over again, become behavior. And this sum total of all our behaviors and action, the sum total of our behaviors, sum total of all our behavior and action will then become our sum total of the total past learning history as we exist in this world. So it is a little bit difficult to understand, but I'm going to simplify it as much as I can so that inshallah, when you understand this, then you understand that you have a mechanism of overcoming your difficulties and your negativity in this world and the current situation that you are in, whether you are in a rut insofar as your personal life is concerned, or whether you are having failures in terms of your business, or whether you are having problems with your family or in your marriage and so on. There's so many things that confront us every day. So that sum total of those things that confront us every day is what we call the total past learning history. But it's always related back to perception. So if you go backward, Alright? Our total past learning history is always dependent on our perception. So how we form our perception is the key to self-correction, is the key to becoming an achiever, is the key to overcome our conditioning and our problems in this world. You can grow up in a slum. Alhamdulillah, I was growing up in a slum. I was a slum kid with a lot of friends who are also slum kids, and we enjoy life just like any other slum kids. We didn't think about tomorrow. We just go around doing things that any slum kid would do. But we had no desire for education. It's just like, you know, doing things, small theft or stealing things or doing some nuisance on the road and so on. And that is typical of any slum anywhere in the world. Children would have no vision and no mission in life and just left about running the streets. But alhamdulillah, fortunately, my parents are very, very dedicated to the need for education. So I was sent to school, I was sent to the madrasah. So I have less time to fool around. I have more time now to go to school, come back, and then go to the madrasah. So I have two systems. That means my friends, they enjoy themselves. Some of them don't even go to school, but I go to the school, government school in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I go to the madrasah to study the Quran and study Islam and so on. So in that way, my parents have groomed me up to love knowledge, and alhamdulillah, I transcended that slum situation to become a successful management consultant and successful entrepreneur, alhamdulillah, and able to travel the world, able to work all over the world, alhamdulillah. So what is important is for us to know that whatever your circumstances in, I'm telling you my story so that you can understand that the physical environment that you are in, if we take the physical environment, the social environment, the inner speech, if we put it in percentage form of the chance of success in you overcoming those things, I would rate it this way. Just Professor Mahdi Jenkins, who formulated this positive Islamic psychology model in his lifetime before he passed on about 8 years ago, he personally feels that we can transcend our physical deficiencies. That means if we live in a slum or we live in deprivation, we can transcend it, all right, by using inner speech. Putting your will power as given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to good work. So the social and interpersonal input also will affect you. So in terms of percentage, roughly, I would say it is like 60% inner speech, 60% will be inner speech, input from inner speech that affects you. About 20% would be from social, and 20% from the physical realm. So you can see that if you concentrate on your inner speech, then you can change your perception. You can change your feelings, your thoughts, conscious and subconscious mind. Then you can change your action, then you can change your behavior, and then the sum total become very positive. So this is the first part that you have to understand, that whatever is your circumstances in life, however negative it is, whether you're an abused kid or whether you are having past very, very bad experiences in life, you can transcend both your physical deficiencies and social deficiencies by honing your skill in terms of inner speech. That's why in positive dynamic psychology, we tell you the method, the approach of practical application of how you can use your inner speech to transform yourself so that you can become achievers. All right, so I hope you read the book and practice to become a positive Islamic psychology practitioner, and inshallah some of you may even come to become our positive Islamic psychology life coaches that will help to transform the ummah to become more positive and become achievers in this world and the hereafter. So if we mold our perception from the inner speech, from the negative inner speech, we can then also transcend the social deficiencies and the physical deficiencies. So it's 60, 20, 20 approximately. This is the figure our late professor Muhammad Mahdi Jenkins has told us. But how then we are going to use this inner speech, and how are we going to overcome, transcend all the other things? In the physical environment, yes, if you are coming from a very poor physical environment where you have no education, your first route would be then to have and find a means to have education. So long as you don't have education, then there's no way out. So if you're living in a slum and your parents has told you to go to school, then you go to school, get some knowledge, because there is no way to ascend and get out of the rut in the physical environment unless you get out of the situation. That means move away from that deficient place to a better place, or move on in life to get education, to get guidance from the elders in the community and so on, so that you can have a basis to change your life. Then the social environment. If your friends are drug addicts in the slum, then you should try to avoid them and try to find friends who are aligned more towards, for example, they are going to the madrasah, they are learning some skills about the Quran, they are also enjoying life, playing football or playing some games, and so you divert from a group of social contexts that are harming you and harming your future to one that is more positive, and then you can start on. But meanwhile, while you're at this point, you always have a positive inner speech to build up your positive inner speech. So inshallah, the methods of how you can hone your positive inner speech, I will explain to you in the next video, so that inshallah you can apply in some small measure for you to have positive perception. Remember, from positive perception, you develop positive feelings, then you develop positive thoughts, both in the conscious and the subconscious mind, then you develop positive actions, then positive behaviors, and the sum total will then become your total past learning history, which is either positive or negative. And our role is always to move upwards towards positive and to achieve peace, happiness, and success in this world and the hereafter by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See you in the next video.